the pooch on this one.
Rookie.
Hold on. Bear with me.
Intro first.
I obviously suck. Oh, and I still suck at it. Suck at producing this show. It is in my hands, and I am not good at it. I'm just gonna say it. Not good at doing this show.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Seriously.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
No. As you all can tell, starting off the show right, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, welcome to the show. For those of you listening and watching, this is Hitting the Chip with Jake and Jordan, episode number 6, and we entitled this one "A Wild Night," and we'll get into it. Definitely an interesting night at CNS. Jesus. Definitely an interesting night at CNS this past weekend. So yeah, a lot to cover, a lot of action. There were some really good races over the weekend, and then there was also a couple unfortunate events that had occurred, and we'll definitely deep dive into those and what happened and whatnot. So stay tuned. I'm Jordan Smith, driver of the 13S GAM and co-host of this here podcast. I'm going to shoot it over to this guy. I got it right.
Oh, I'm side by side with you. I'm like top right corner in my screen. But
oh, really?
It works out.
Oh, whatever.
What's up, everybody? Jake Smith, driver of the 89 GAM, co-host of this here Hitting the Chip podcast. Like George said, we got some stuff to go over from this weekend. Updates, obviously, from Saturday night. Obviously, updates from our garage as well. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's going to be a good night. And then we have a big weekend coming up that we want to discuss, and some hometown people that are going to be on the national level. And one of them is going to be directing the whole thing finally at home. So we'll dig into that a little bit too. And I know he's watching because I can see it. So yeah, you want to hit that commercial?
Yeah, for sure. Gonna give a little bit of love to our big sponsor, our presenting sponsor for this here podcast show, AAA Service. And then we'll actually a little mini announcement like Jake talked about. We'll get into that in 1 second.
I know he's down there just making noises, stalling. He just put so much work into keeping this act going.
Hey. Yeah, Mandy's still home. Her friend's gonna pick her up like any moment. Can you do like a loop around the block or something? Perfect. Okay. Yes. All right. Thanks. See you soon.
Oh my God.
I do have to touch on this really, really fast, and it's really funny. AAA catches so much hate from people on our commercials, like because we're like degrading men and like putting them into a bad spotlight, like they don't know how to do anything or be handyman around the house and stuff. I swear to God, we get like an email or a text at least once a month about how awful our commercials are and like they're not funny and they're degrading and this and that. So just a little insight into the AAA land there. But
man, how dare you make men?
It's like, come on, man. You just got to have some fun with it. Like laugh a little bit. Like life's not that bad. But anyways,
that's where you excuse me, losing my voice. That's where you take like a clip from that movie Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in Tights. We're men in tights. Yeah.
Oh God, that's such a good movie.
Yeah.
That's God, that's what, 94, 95 now?
I don't know, but
it's got to be 30 years old.
I need to make my wife watch that movie. She probably wouldn't think it'd be funny, but I'd laugh my ass off.
She's never seen it?
I probably not.
Is she still standing there?
I don't know. Hey, babe! Babe! She's upstairs. Hold on. Babe! I can't yell loud.
I know, it's hilarious.
She must be FaceTiming her sister or something. I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
Uh,
Dude, your voice crackled like you were 13.
hey, man, don't make fun of the guy that's lost his voice, okay? You go 2 weeks like this, and then you
my
try to
God.
talk on a podcast.
Oh my God. So funny. Oh, sorry, everybody. We got kind of sidetracked
Anyway.
there.
Anyway,
Anyways, all right. So, okay, bring it back together. So this past weekend, let me pull it up again because I forget the name of the exact race of what it was sponsored by. So it was the Gilpin Casino and Lodge Winners Club Clash Full of Thrills and Spills at CNS. I don't think it was quite that, but it was the Gilpin and Lodge Casino was the main sponsor for the night. So you had the sprint cars, the Momentum Series was in town, the trucks, the Legends, the Bandos, and then those crazy demo cross. The night started off pretty well. Overall, it was on time. I was a little worried about the rain because when we got there, it was a little bit cloudy and it was a little misty. Didn't know if we were going to quite get it in or not, but the racing gods helped us out and cleared the way, and we were able to get the night in. But overall, it started off pretty nice.
I was able to watch the whole thing, so that was good.
Yeah. I think the only incident, even just from practice sake, was when Addie went through the X and smoked the tires, sent them up over top of her little bando. Totally crunched the shit out of the bumper. Like both tabs were straight. Now they're like cockeyed to like a 60-degree angle. And I wasn't going to like try and straighten them out and ruin the welds. I was just like, well, we're just going to send it, like whatever. But
sweetheart, that's a turning point, not a running over point.
Not an aiming point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But let's just go through it. Qualifying for we'll start with the Bando kids, right? So they did end up getting to qualify this time. They had the what do they call it? The transponders, the race monitor going. So quick time, I believe was.
Wait, did they do it from practice, or did they actually let them go do 2 laps?
No, they did it from practice. So as most of that were there this last weekend, Jake wasn't in attendance. He ended up watching from low budget at home. But he did end up watching it, and we're kind of texting back and forth and about the night and whatnot. But no, they did it in practice. They only did 2 practices for the Bando kids, which I'm totally okay with for them. Like I don't think
that's really enough.
That really is enough. Like they don't need 3 practices like on any given night. I mean, I don't think any of us really need 3 practices, to be honest with you. But at least, especially for them, like having the half an hour, 2:30 to 3, and then they had another one. I think it was like, and they gave them a couple hours, and then it was like 4:00 is when they did that. So they did. They used the second practice to do their qualifying. And then they did a heads up from there. So they split the Bandit kids into 2, which I think was great because there's 14 of them. And it ended up working out in favor to where there was no real issues on the racetrack for either one of those races, the Junior Bandits or the Bandits. But needless to say, gonna kind of go quickly through this because there's a lot to talk about later on as in the main events itself. But so for your Junior Bandits, the dash winner was Kylie Novak, and then for the feature it was Scarlett Aragon. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but that young lady, that's her second win on the season. For the Bandit dash, it was the 23M of Isaac Mead. And then for the feature, for her first win ever, was Emerson Weitzel. I forget how to pronounce her last name as well. I suck at this, but
sounds about right.
But the one thing I wanted to point out about the Bandit race is the top 4 was the 23 car. There's another
44.
young. The 20, I think he was the 28. I forget this little kid's name. He's parked next to us a few times. Hayden Powers, Madison Stanley, and Isaac Mead. They were like neck and neck the entire race.
They were, they were side by side, easily
2
the
by
last,
2,
like,
right?
like the last 8 laps.
Right. Oh, there's my wife's phone. I don't know how to turn that off. Holy cow. Unplug. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Her computer's
Don't do anything traditional on podcast here.
So anyways, yeah, I thought they did a phenomenal job. They put on a really good race. They were side-by-side action, and it was killer. It was fun to watch. They did an awesome job. So, and congratulations to Emerson. She did phenomenal. It's great to see her get her first win. She was super excited. She didn't quite know what to do after the race was over. Yeah, she kind of went around the track a couple times, was like, do I pull off? What do I do? It's like, no, go over and go talk. Go let everybody know how excited you are. So
she did pretty well with their post-race interview too. And I just thought it was funny because, like, at start she was just kind of like one-word answer, and then it was like,
yeah.
And then she started rolling, and like, you know, especially her sponsors and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But you got a fast car. What do you think about it? Yeah. You think it's gonna be fast enough all year to keep going? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I liked her answer about you know, what was the difference between last year and this year. I just hammered down and full throttled it. Like,
yeah, it's the first time I went full throttle.
Yeah.
I don't know much about these. My grandpa and my family work on it.
Oh, it was great. The Outlaw race was exciting too. We'll go through the dash winner for that. So it was Liam Hammond. He took the dash for that series for the Outlaws, and then in the feature, man, they were back and forth too. Really right from the gate, he was strong. Liam Hammond was strong. Lillian Tuttle, she was really strong. Little Jackson Mueller, man, that kid can just flat out pedal it. I know his dad works his ass off, and he had an issue in practice where he got spun out. They had to fix that thing, so there was more issue in practice. But yeah, he got that thing fixed up. Went down to see if he needed some help. He was like, "Nope, about to put the wheels on it, ready to go." Went out and he was.
I'm gonna put it to the floor, and I'm either gonna see checkers or God.
God, right. And he went back and forth. I mean, those top three, they were kind of, you know, in and out, right through traffic. Finding lanes, switching back and forth. Towards the end of that race, he kind of washed up the racetrack at one point and thought he was going to smoke the wall. But he's getting faster, right? Like, for how young he is in these cars, he's getting faster. That's for sure. But Liam Hammond ended up taking the feature. Lillian Tuttle finished second. Jackson Mueller was third. Justin Barnard was fourth. And Dutch Vanderwall was your top five. So I'm going to hand it over to you for the Legends cars, because I didn't get to watch them after that. There was kind of a scramble after the Bandoleros. So sorry, I'm totally drawing a blank.
Well, I don't have like the dash. Let me get the dash winners real quick.
Well, I can give you the winners, but if you want to talk about the race itself, I guess, because you watched it.
Yeah. I mean, the dash races were pretty good. I mean, nothing too exciting really that I can remember. Obviously,
they get strung out a little bit during the dashes. They get strung out,
yeah. You know, and you have a spin here and there. You know, people racing hard, trying to get as much as you can out of positions, and this is where, like we said, or I said last week, like, you know, I know in dashes, especially like when they break it up in the slow and fast dashes, that, you know, you're trying to go out there and race hard. But for me, it's like in the dash, you're racing for 3 points. And if you're in a 15 car field and you're in the back, really, to me, you shouldn't be racing that hard. Like, you want to race, see what you have for the main event. But to me, it's like, if you're already 2 seconds back after three laps, there's really no reason to push yourself to try and gain one more spot just for a dash race, right? But
Or put yourself in a bad position, more or
put
less.
yourself in a, yeah, and
Yeah.
then and wreck your car or something like that. You know, I don't think we had any incidents like that in the dashes, but it just, you know, you have some things here and there where two people get connected and they spin out, right?
Yeah.
On a 10-lap dash race, it's like, you know, you're starting to go green for a little while, and then all of a sudden, boom, like 2 laps left, there's a spin. Like, just give a little more give and take at that point.
Yeah.
You know, just finish the dash race, right?
Yeah.
Like one position isn't going to make that big a difference, but you know, but from what I can remember, yeah, they got strung out, and pretty much it was just follow the leader for most of the time. So, but
for the dash, the 28P of Adam Powers, who is the dad of the little kid Powers. I'm already forgetting his name. So it was Hittin Powers. That's his dad that ended up winning the dash race. Super nice people, by the way. Great group of people.
Yeah, super nice. Who won the fast dash? I think it was Crocker, wasn't it?
It was Crocker. Yeah. Cole Tuttle was your quick time at an 18.5, but Colton ended up taking that. I do remember watching a little bit of that one though.
Because they don't show qualifying on low budget anymore. It's like they turn it on when the heat races start.
Oh, really?
So you don't get to watch qualifying anymore. So that's why I was like, who got quick time? Because I thought Crocker had it, but obviously he didn't.
Yes, it was Cole Tuttle. So congrats to him too. He had a strong outing for sure. Like in the dash race, he was fighting up in the top 3 for sure. So
yeah,
he's shown some power so far early in this season.
Yeah,
but
well, that's good.
But it was delayed to get into the main event,
which I'm glad that, you know, thankfully everything been okay, which we'll talk about. Yeah. But I am glad that they combined all the cars for the main event, because they were running way out of time, and it would have just been what, midnight, 1 o'clock by the time they would have got those races done had they not put them together.
It would have been super late. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, which in the main event, I mean, there'd be times where they're going 8-10 laps, and all of a sudden, boop, you know, just somebody spin out and cause a wreck. I think there was who were the 2 cars?
It was the 38 of Garrett Wilson and the number 10 of Ty Brown were the ones who tangled on the front stretch.
Which I just thought it was kind of crazy that they brought the ambulance out, because I mean, from my point of view, watching low budget, you couldn't really see exactly what happened, but I mean, he must have smacked that car door side to the wall pretty hard for them to call out the ambulance, because I think even Kurt, the flag guy, got out of the flag stand and ran over to him to see how he was. So it was like, once I saw that, I was like, oh man, that just stinks. Like, hopefully everything is okay with the drivers and everything, but it's like to have 2 ambulance visits in one night, that's harsh. You know, hard, I should say.
It's a rough night when they're very active. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you know.
But it goes to show you, once you can get the drivers all under control and start racing. I thought the Legends race, at least for the top 15, was a good hell of a race. Like, it goes to show you that the top side, I feel so sorry and so bad for Scotty Scott, because he flipped 3 times. Oh, that's
he was up in the fence.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had to go red flag after that, and luckily he was able to get out under his own power.
Yeah, I saw him get out of the car by himself.
Yeah, but he got end over end.
The camera just showed him door side to the wall as it stopped, so that you just never saw what happened.
Yeah.
Well, glad he's okay. That's definitely number one, most important thing.
It just sucks. It just sucks with those cars at this particular racetrack, and I know it happens at other places, but man, it seems like every year lately that, I mean, there's at least one, if not 2 instances where one of those goes end over end.
Flipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to finish what I was saying, it goes to show you the outside lane for the Legends is just, it just sucks. And it's a bottom lane only, because once they get lined up, I mean, if you're on the top side in the front and there's 8 or 9 of them Legend cars lined up on the inside, you're going from first to 10th quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel so bad for Scotty Scott, because he drives his ass off, and you know, we're good friends, and he's always up front at the start, and all of a sudden gets hung out to dry on that outside, and then it's just all of a sudden here goes 9 of them right by him,
Yeah.
and goes back down to 10th, and it's just like, shit, how do you recover from that? You know,
It's so hard. It's so hard
is.
in these cars to get any momentum back once you've kind of lost it.
Mhm.
And clean air too, right? Like that plays a big factor into it as well. You know, once you get out front, it's not to say that it's easy, but it helps. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but I thought the top 10, even top 15, they were racing hard, racing good, you know, and when they had opportunities, people would take them, and was good, some good racing, I thought, after that, you know,
Yeah.
and they put on a good show after that.
Yeah.
Short, quick, red flag. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you had Wyatt Dent up there for a little while leading, and then all of a sudden somebody put a nose up underneath him, and you know, 4 or 5 cars back, and so it was cool to just watch him kind of shuffle around a little bit and put on a good show. So
It does. I mean, it can change in an instant, and you know, I mean, you go from having a super dominant car to where you just any little mishap, right? Like even if you just missing your mark on the racetrack, you might have the stoutest car out there, but if you're not doing what you need to do behind the wheel, I mean, that can hurt you huge, right? Like it can go, like you just said, go from first to finishing 6th or 7th or 8th, right in there. So to give a quick recap of the top 5, and there's also one other name up here that I kind of want to touch on for a great finish, but your winner was Colton Crocker, starting off super strong, so it looks like he's going to be tough to beat this year. Wyatt Dent finished 2nd, Warren Tuttle finished 3rd, Daryl L. Stewart finished 4th, and then Ryan Land finishing 5th.
nice.
The name that I wanted to kind of talk about here finished 8th, and that was the 14S of Austin Steinke. So if you guys remember from last year, he was in a bandit bando, and made the jump up to Legends cars this year. He had been running down at Las Vegas and kind of different places, and they had I know they had some internal talks about whether or not they were going to allow him to drive at CNS, and they allowed him to do it. He's handled himself pretty well. I mean, he come out second race and gets a top 10 finish. I mean, you can't be better than that, right?
Crazy.
So great outing by that young man. Congratulations.
12?
I think he's
11, 12?
I think he's 11.
Crazy.
I think he's 11. I'd have to confirm with somebody. I'm sure somebody knows his exact age, but I think
there's
he's 11.
10, 11-year-olds, 9-year-olds in dirt super late models.
Oh, I know.
Legends on an asphalt track. Like,
well, that's like the kid who won, was it at North Wilkesboro a couple years ago? He was 12 driving one of those smart modifieds and won it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was 12.
I just remember Bristol dirt last couple of years. You all of a sudden you'd see a 12-year-old in victory lane. Like, do you even have any hair?
Yeah. Dude, he doesn't even have the crackle voice like you do.
I know. I'll give it to him.
Oh my God. So should we tell the story we were talking about before we got on the air real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Jake's been doing some therapy the last, and maybe you could touch on that a little bit too. Jake's been doing some therapy the last couple of weeks and has been going to the therapeutic pool and doing some walking and just getting his joints and stuff moving and take it from there. Go ahead. And what did you say?
I don't remember exactly how I put it, but you were making fun of me because of my voice. And What
You
is it
said
that
you were starting to move in places you hadn't moved in a while.
Oh yeah. I'm starting to get some movement in areas I haven't in a while without pain or restriction. And George's like, "Oh, you're finally able to grab your balls?"
I said, "Oh, you can scratch your balls again? Is that what's going on?"
I'm like, "Yes." Especially right in front of a bunch of old ladies. One lady, she saw me do it and started swimming over to grab them.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
These ones are young.
Yeah. Were they in the pool with the little like dumbbell floaty things? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Were you next to her?
She had like 3 pool noodles underneath her, and she was like flicking her feet all over the place. Like, lady, go in the big pool for that.
I'm trying to work over here.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a workout in here, man.
She was flirting with you, dude. That's her way. Oh my God. Probably a little too much TMA there for our listeners, but
that's okay.
Anyways. All right. Well, we're going to save the sprint cars for last because there's a lot to talk about with that, obviously, but we'll touch on the trucks really fast. So happy Furry. Good to see him back out. That car or that truck, can't say car. That truck looks awesome. I know that they put in a lot of work after the, the wreck that he had last year that put him out for the rest of the season. Talking to him and his crew, that's basically a brand new truck. They said the only thing that they salvaged from it was the center section, but everything else on that truck was pretty much brand new. I know a lot of new updated vehicles there. I know Brian Yackee, we had talked about that. He had a brand new truck. I can't really support his sponsor at this point because he's one of our competitors, but it's a good looking truck, and I'm happy for him. Anybody that sponsors any one of our racers, I'll definitely support them. That's awesome. It's good to see that people are getting invested into racetracks and in the racing community again. But the dash, I can speak to that because I watched it. Got same thing, right? Like the dashes got strung out. Tim Coate did a really good job. He led the way, and then Dinas. He ended up making a charge at him. Didn't quite have enough. Adam would get up close to him, kind of would maybe screw up a corner, lose a car length or two, but then it kind of just start to finish, it was just got strung out more or less. But congratulations to Tim Coate for the dash win. For the fast dash, I mean, this guy's had a hell of a few years, that's for sure, and he was one of our old show alums that we got to talk to quite often. But Curtis Heldenbrand ended up winning the fast dash.
That was a good little 4-truck battle going on there. For that dash. He started third or fourth or something. I think
he started fourth.
Yeah, and they were. I mean, it was like the battle of patience, and it was good to see because they were all being patient with each other. And there's some bumping and some stuff in there, but it wasn't like somebody took somebody out or ran somebody over, doored them on purpose. It was just good, nice to see. All right, which line's gonna go? Who's gonna mess up? Who's gonna, you know what I mean?
And tight racing too, like they're door to door and nobody's giving an inch, but they're holding steady too. Like nobody's getting out of control. And I mean, it was, that's the stuff you live for. That's the type of racing I love watching. If you can be side by side for the entire 10 laps, even, right? Like that's the shit you live for to watch as a fan. And yeah, you're right. It was a good race. It was good to see. I mean, Curtis did a hell of a job. He's got a strong truck this year. I mean, there's a couple other really strong trucks out there as well. I mean, Tyler Wiggins, Brian, Happy, Travis, he's won in that truck quite a bit. So there's a strong field for sure this season, and you can see it too. I know in the main event, unfortunately, I know Happy ended up, I think he took the lead from what he took the lead. We ended up leaving early, just so everybody knows. In the main event, but I didn't get to watch the main event because we ended up.
He Yeah, I watched the whole main event.
Okay, go ahead.
I
Speak to
definitely
it.
wanted to watch the trucks because we haven't seen the trucks yet this year. It was a good race. Brian Yackee and Happy Free got way out in front of everybody else. I think they had like a over 2.5, 3 second lead, kind of like about, I don't know, 10 laps into the race.
Yeah.
And then Happy, you could just see he was just biding his time, getting his line, looking for that spot that Brian, he either messed up or like he could take advantage of, you know what I mean? Like setting him up kind of thing. And I never saw him do this, but right as soon as Happy was going into the inside, took over the lead for about a half a lap, and then got black flagged because he was scraping too much. It was like, really? After he took the lead, you black flagged him? I mean, the rule is, you scrape too many times.
Yes.
I get it. But you waited until like he took the lead to do it.
So the timing of it was
Now, had
questionable.
They did it when he was, maybe a half car length back there for a little while. Hey,
right.
You're scraping, anymore, you're going to be black flagged.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom, that's when he gets black flagged. Like, that's crazy to me. But from there, it's like once Happy got off the track, I think Curtis Hildenbrand finally got up into, second, third if Happy was still on the track, But he was trying to catch him. It was just too little, too late, and Brian had too big a lead, and I think he ended up having like over a 3 second lead by the end of it. But great race. I mean, other than that little spacing, there was still some battles on the track. The one thing, if I had to
be critical of, I got you,
is Brian, did you have to lap the last two cars with like 4 to go? You had a 3 second lead. Just let him go. Like, I was watching, even when the 2 cars that he lapped, I think it was Skufka and I can't remember the other car.
The 21?
Maybe it was Nelson. Yeah. They had crossed the line and still had over a second behind, they were like over a second in front of Curtis Hildenbrand. So he had plenty of time where just let those 2 guys battle it out and just watch them do it.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to put them a lap down with 4 to go. I mean, as racers, you never want to slow down, but I don't know. That would be my only critique of that race is Happy's black flag, and then lapping those 2 cars late in the race.
I mean, it sucks for sure. And again, I think it goes, like you were talking about, it goes back to the timing of that, because we've seen cars spark the racetrack in the first few weeks here, and it took, just some clarity there would be appreciative. I almost like, put out a post of why he did it, and like, hey, this is a warning to everybody else, that type of situation. Like, we're not going to tolerate this anymore. Right. Something like that of that nature would be helpful. Because it does put in the back of your mind of like, why this situation, why now in the 3rd race of the season when, granted, like my ass was scraping on the ground a couple times during our race. Why wasn't I the guinea pig?
Scraping on the ground.
Yeah, there was a couple of mods. Yeah, there wasn't just me. There was multiple of us that were scraping the ground. Why didn't we get made an example of? So, and to talk about, Mark's point here, he chased down the 22 and got black flagged for sparking. That was about to be one hell of a race. And that's the worst part, is you ended up taking that away from the fans who had, stuck it out, right? Like throughout the entire night, stuck around, wanted to see it all the way to the finish. And then you kind of took that from them in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, from the entertainment factor of the races, of what they are, you made it boring at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just glad that they didn't throw, the infamous ghost caution at that point, because
Yeah.
like I said, 3-second lead. You're just watching Brian kind of go around.
Yeah.
Like there was, and the thing that sucks about the low budget thing is, they try to pan out and go to other spots on the racetrack and watch some battles, but far too often they just watch the leader, and it's like, okay, you're watching the leader go out there, make laps by himself.
Yeah.
Like, let's go watch some other, battles on the track. So like, as far as other battles on the track, I couldn't even really tell you what happened, because all I know is they put it on Curtis for a little bit, and who he was battling with, I was like Tyler and Travis Rowe and those guys. And then once he got past them, it was like, I don't know what battles were going on, because they never, panned the camera back that way. So,
well, and I know it's somebody at the racetrack that works for the racetrack that does that. I don't think it's part of like the low budget crew.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Is that right? Like,
I'm pretty sure
my
somebody
understanding
at CNS
does
it. Yeah.
Well, no harsh criticism. It's just more or less as a suggestion, right? Like, if anybody's watching, just like, hey, try to, or maybe have somebody up there with you, right? Because it's hard when you're behind a camera, right? And you're trying to, you're focusing on what's on the camera, right? But maybe you have somebody else out there be like, hey, pan over, whatever. Maybe that's suggestion, more or less. But
exactly. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. All right.
This weekend will be a little different, because they'll actually have some actual broadcast people out.
That's true, and we'll get into that for sure. All right. So now the main, which I thought was kind of weird that they had them go first, but one of the main attractions to me, right, like, that should have been your main attraction, was the sprint cars. They had their first race of the season, the wingless sprints, the Momentum series, this new series that's being kicked off, that we've kind of talked about in the last couple weeks. They were out there for the first time, and I was super impressed with the car turnout. We had 12 of them, which is great for a new series, and especially for a wingless series, because for maybe some of you that don't know, when you take the wing off these things, it slows them down tremendously. I mean, they were running, well, let's look at the quick time lap of these cars in comparison to what they are with a wing on them, right? So Adam Hilton ended up setting the quick time at a 16.9. That's pretty much what the modifieds are running. Like, I mean, for quick time for the modifieds is usually around 17 flat, 16.9, typically right around there. So they're running about the same time as we are. To put a wing on them, they're running 13, 14 second laps. So they're almost 2.5 seconds slower without the wing on them.
Downforce will do for you.
It's crazy, right? Like, just that, putting the wings on them things and how much it picks up the speed on those race cars. But either way, it's still badass just hearing them go around that racetrack, and there's such emphasis on when they pick up the throttle and all that kind of stuff, because you can hear it, versus when they got the wing on them. I mean, it's just the same pitch all the way around the racetrack. So needless to say, congrats to Adam Hilton for putting down that lap. Got quick time for the first time in a sprint car. So that's awesome. The dash, nothing. It was a good dash race. A lot of early moves being made, but Mike Hathaway ended up getting out into the lead and took off from there, really. So he ended up being your dash winner. The fast dash, man, Adam Hilton just couldn't get around that 6 car.
And he was trying.
He was trying really, really hard.
It was just like, I just want to get on a radio. Go high.
Yeah.
Go around him.
And I'm sure it's not easy. But I was thinking that same thing. Like, watching that race, it's like, man, why don't you just send it in up in the 3rd lane?
If you go to the outside, you can hold it.
See what it's got up in that 3rd lane, right? Like, but yeah. But anyways, so congrats to it was Austin Gossel that was in that car, not Brian.
Yeah.
So he ended up taking your fast dash win. And then the main event, like I said, it was kind of odd that they put them second behind the Bandos. Wasn't quite expecting that. Was hoping that maybe they would be a little bit later on in the night, but it is what it is, right? But am I lagging?
You are lagging.
Oh, okay. Maybe it'll fix itself. Can you hear me clearly? That's all I care about.
Tell all the females in your house turn the Wi-Fi's off.
I know, right? They're just
No
sucking
Wi-Fi
up all
during the podcast.
sucking up all the bandwidth. But 2 laps into that race, there was an issue. Car goes up. I forget which car number it was, but you could see it going into turn 3, coming out of turn 4, was just got jacked sideways. Going down the front stretch was just, losing it more or less. And Kevin Schrammick is the driver's name. Tried to dive low, ended up jumping the wheels on this particular car. I forget who it was again. And it spun around backwards. And at that moment, I'm sitting there watching it. And I'm like, oh, shit. Spun around backwards, plowed the wall. I mean, that was one of the hardest hits I've ever seen at that racetrack. And to go in backwards, I mean, how bad that had to have hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was in the turn 1 wall, came to a rest about between turn 1 and turn 2. And as soon as it came to a rest, woof, up in flames.
It was quick.
It was so fast. I mean, you really had no time to even process what was really going on. That's how fast it happened. But as well as I do, even just watching sprint cars on the dirt and everything else, you see them cars go backwards into the wall. That's instantly the great risk because of where the fuel cells are positioned on these cars. And needless to say, the lack of protection that they have around the fuel cell itself, that boom, it just went instantly up and it was crushed. I mean, it was like a pancake, completely flat on the back end of that car. So he came to rest and it was up in flames. Scott Bremkamp on his little 4-wheeler hustled his ass off to get over there, grabbed his fire bottle, started spraying it, trying to get the fire out as quickly as possible. And it just was not, it just wasn't working. Like it wasn't happening. Like it was still engulfed in flames. But then to the rescue was the son of Kevin. His name's Derek. He was parked in turn 2, jumped out of the car, ran over, unbuckling his dad, and pulled his ass out of the car. Like, hats off to that kid. I mean, had to been, I can't even imagine what's going through your mind at that point. You're seeing your old man sitting in the car and he's hurt. Like he's hurt.
Yeah.
And he can't get out. He can't help himself get out of the car. I mean, I can't imagine what was going through his head at that point. Like, to go over there and basically save your old man's life and get him out as quickly as he did. But do you want to continue touching on that?
I mean, it's kind of like one of them deals. You're just thankful for people running and getting their ass moving to help somebody, because obviously, as we got some updates, what's the guy that was on fire? What's his first name?
His name's Kevin Schrammick. I think it's Schrammick. That's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Kevin had 2 fractured vertebrae in his back.
Vertebrae discs is from what I heard.
Yeah, 2 fractured discs in his back, and obviously lots of burns. But I mean, you could see on the only thing you could really see on the low budget was he threw the steering wheel, and you could see he was trying to grab something like a bar or something to pull himself up. It's just he couldn't. And you're just at that point like, holy shit, get out of that car. And his son, thank God, came over and just sheer will pulled his ass out of that car. Because I mean, that's a scary moment to be seeing that, you know. So thank God everybody
And
involved was okay.
oh yeah, exactly. And the fact that he was able to get out of the car, and he put a post out there himself on Facebook that I saw earlier today, talking about how thankful he was for everybody involved in the safety crew and everything. I mean, he's thinking it's lucky stars at this point, um, but it's good to see that he's okay overall. I mean, it's a scary, scary situation. It's something you don't want to see as a fan or a racer or anything, but it can definitely, it brings it back into perspective of what can happen at any given moment when you're driving, right?
Right. Yeah, just thank God, he was watching over everybody at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing I really want to, and we can kind of go through the rest of the race, because it took them a long time to clean that up. It took them a long time to get the fire out. That was my overall concern of the night, was how long it took to get the fire completely out. I mean, it took a good 20 minutes or so to get it out completely.
It's kind of like the time at
they had
Daytona with the jet fuel dryer. It just
right
took forever to get it out. So it's like, was it a mixture of fuel and oil? Like, maybe, everybody that was involved kind of let us know, like, because alcohol burns, but like you can't really see it. And this flame, you could see it. So it was like, was he not running that type of gas? Was he, it just, we have a lot of unknowns that we would like to, be educated on, obviously. But yeah, it was like, damn, this fire is taking forever to get out, and you just worry at that point for a lot of different things, the track, if it's going to ruin the track and keep going for the night. If it keeps going, is it a hazard to the people around that area, burning off all that fumes and stuff like that, so there's a lot of unknowns that we would love to be educated on.
Oh, for sure. And no bashing on anybody. They tried to do the best that they could in a really shitty and horrible situation, right?
Right.
Like I said, Scott was there on time as quickly as he possibly could. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to have some talks internally about how they can improve things safety-wise. I mean, it was an unfortunate situation too, of where it was at on the racetrack. It took them a little bit longer than I'm sure they wanted to get over there, because they park the emergency vehicles and everything. They're typically on the entrance to the racetrack. That's where they typically park. And then when there's an issue, they come storming onto the racetrack after they get everybody stopped. So I don't know if you look at that, maybe reposition yourselves maybe into the infield, like the ambulance, everything on the infield, to maybe try to help that situation out. I mean, there's just things you can learn from it. But no fault to anybody. They obviously did the best that they could. And the man's safe and he's alive, and and everything's fine. I mean, I don't know, like you said, talking about the fire itself, what form it ended up being truly, and how you can put that out. Well, now right? Like they haven't had a fire in there in, like, from what I understand, like in 10 years. So, and I'm sure Brett Marine could probably educate us a little bit on this situation too, about,
So like
what are some
like
of
a bag of some sort of chemical that you could just crack open and throw over top of it, and it just suffocates the fire or something.
Yeah, speedy dry or something. I mean, whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever it is,
I would kill that, but.
but just things to take away from it. Obviously everybody was safe. They were able to finish the races for the night. It did delay everything, obviously, like we had talked about, for quite a while, and deservedly so. They had to get Kevin out of the ambulance. They had the hospital ambulance come pick him up and take him to the hospital. And you can't obviously run races without an ambulance, an active ambulance on site. So, I mean, I think after it was all said and done, it was about 45 minutes or so before they finally got things cleaned up and back going again. But just super thankful that he he's all right, and the family is doing okay, and I'm sure, scary situation for everybody that was watching, but to see see everything ended up okay is the best part.
You need to somehow fix your lag, because people are. Mark Bremkamp says it's like watching a Bruce Lee movie. Your mouth is moving, but it's not matching the words very well.
I know. I think it's because we literally have probably 3 other females on FaceTime going on at the same time, and they're sucking up all the.
Go tell them to take a break.
Here, I'll just do this. I'm gonna put myself on no camera for a minute, and you can just hear my voice. I'm gonna tell her that too. It'd be like, you're sucking all the bandwidth.
So now everybody's just got to look at my face. All right.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There's Jake. No.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help. No, didn't help.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I could. Hi.
We can get an answer now.
Have you ever seen Robin Hood Men in Tights? I'll take that as a no. That's all.
Oh,
thank you.
Man.
Love you.
That's funny. That's funny.
Huh?
So anyways, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. She said that she doesn't know, so I'll take that as a no. But I was more trying to act like you, and she came out. She's like, "What?" So that's why I had to just ask her.
I'm getting yelled at through text because I texted Nicole and said, "You're sucking all the bandwidth." She says, "No, I'm not."
Yes, you are. Oh, but anyway, yeah. Thank for all, like you said, thank for all the safety crew, everybody involved, getting him out to finish the night with the sprint cars. It was kind of a battle of. Oh, now you're just completely frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but you were like frozen there for a second.
Let me see if I could switch over to my hotspot on my phone. Maybe that'll do it. Continue talking while I do this.
Okay. There's some good battles out there. You can definitely see Adam Hilton was trying to wheel that thing again and try and get by a couple of cars and get up front there, and was using his bumper a little bit, kind of dooring a little bit. So it was kind of fun to watch a little bit there afterwards. And then they just had a couple more incidents that they ended up having to call the race early with I think 3 to go or something like that. So bummer they didn't get all the laps in, but Mike, congratulations to Mike Hathaway for winning the first wingless sprint car race at CNS with the Momentum Series. And yeah, that was kind of the finish the recap of Saturday night. Got some good racing coming up this weekend. We got the Menard Series coming into town, the ARCA West, with the late models. Excuse me, had to sneeze. Whew, sorry. Late models, GAMs, trains, and fireworks on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we got the super late models. What is it? I'd say Pure Stocks, Legends, Bandoleros, and Figure Eights. I can't remember exactly. Jordan will have to look at it. But it's a good weekend of racing. Hopefully Sunday is going to get it in, because the rain is looking, at least on the forecast, is looking like it's coming on Sunday. So everybody do your sun dance for Sunday's races. But it's going to be good. The full racing. Yep, see, he just left. So you're just going to deal with me, people, for at least a minute. So it's going to be some good racing. Flow Racing TV is going to host the Saturday show. We also have Mr. Brian Sanders, hometown boy, going to be the race director for this race for the ARCA Menard Series. So it'll be his first time doing it for his home track. So congratulations, Brian, on that. I know you've been working hard and trying to get that going. So it'll be fun to see you on Saturday doing the race directing. So super sucks. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Don't say the R word. Yeah, I don't want to say the R word. I want to say the S word. Sunny, no clouds. That would be glorious. But we do have a 2-day show ourselves with the Gams this weekend and Bandoleros on Sunday. Just to kind of give everybody a quick update, I found out last Thursday or Friday. I'm kind of up in the air on racing this weekend. I know George put a post out yesterday making it seem like both Gams will be racing, but it's going to just depend on how I feel Friday and Saturday morning. So I found out I have muscle atrophy. For anybody that isn't medical like me, that doesn't know what that is. So basically the last year and a half, all the medication I've been taking may have been helping with my Crohn's, but a lot of the side effects has been the worst part. And basically was making my body eat away at its, in a sense, eat away at itself. So I lost a lot of muscle. If you saw me right now, you'd all be like, oh my God, you're like skinny as hell. So that's the reason why. It's because I just don't have the strength right now. But like George said, I've been doing therapy. I am getting on some new medication here the next day or two. But I am getting some more strength and flexibility out of my body. With all the therapy I have been doing. So thank you, everybody that has shown support and all the prayers and love sent my way. I thank you for that. So, oh shit. For anybody that doesn't know, I usually do podcasts and then I have my phone. So I'm not really watching myself. I'm watching how many people are on watching with us and seeing all your guys' comments. So I have to kind of do double duty since we switched podcast streamings that I don't get to see how many people are online and then the comments on the computer screen anymore. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. If I'm feeling good, like I said, Saturday I might get the car out, but I'm not planning on it. Let's just say that. So I want to give myself a little extra time. Oh, there he is. Wait a second. Well, anyway, while he's booting back up, I just want to give myself some extra time to build back my strength and be out there as healthy as I possibly can and put on some good racing with everybody. So, but George's going to be out there on Saturday. I'll still be out there Saturday supporting everybody because we do have Mariah Boudreau and Holly Clark, who announced it this week, will be racing in the Arca Menard Series on Saturday. Plus, I think Mariah said she's going to do double duty with the late model on Saturday as well. And then Holly will be back on Sunday with her super late model. So she'll be, in a sense, doing double duty as well. Oh, you're back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're still
Can
very
they hear
choppy,
me?
though.
I'm still super laggy. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to keep blaming my family for the internet disruption.
Did you tell them to all get off FaceTime?
Do you think they listen to me?
Hey, you're the one that works on their cars. If they don't want to get off their FaceTime, no cars on Sunday.
That's true.
We got a podcast.
I think here. I know. I think the bigger thing is just the camera. I'm going to turn that off, but I'll keep speaking to it at least. Where were you at? I'm sorry.
Well, I just had finished up the recap for the sprint cars and then talked about what's racing this weekend. I didn't name the sponsors for this weekend just because I don't have it pulled up. And then I just kind of gave a quick health update on where I'm at, what's been going on, and that Holly and Mariah were running the Arca West Series and then doing their double duty with their regular cars this weekend. And that's where I'm at. And no microphone. And I'm usually the one with the technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on with his. Interesting. Well, it seems like we're having some technical difficulties here, people. I don't have a way of shutting off the podcast. So I guess if you want to throw some questions on here. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Jesus criminy, this sucks. No, I will talk to the weekend real quick. So on Saturday, you have the ARCA Series West, the late models, Grand American Modifieds. Oh, great.
Oh, our technical difficulties are getting worse. Texting him saying nobody can hear him. Jordan, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. Unless everybody else can hear him. Can everybody else hear him? Yeah, I don't know. Throw some questions for people. I'll sit here and answer some questions.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I switched over to a different network.
Oh,
I know. I'm sorry, everybody. I can see you clearly. Clear as day.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Let's see if this works. Nope, it's still laggy as shit. I'm turning it off.
No one wants to see your face anyway.
I know.
Yeah, we must be real laggy.
We have the ARCA Series West, the late models, Grand American Modifieds, trains, and fireworks on Saturday. Drift X and fireworks on Sunday. Did you get all that?
No, but we should just end the show because we're obviously having technical difficulties or internet.
We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, to be continued next week.
Yes, we'll have a better show next week where the last 10 minutes of our show will not be so choppy and overridden by female activity on the internet sucking all the bandwidth. That's what we're going to blame it on. We're probably going to get in trouble for that, but that is okay. Any last words, George, before we cut the show?
No, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. Look forward to seeing everybody this weekend.
You sound like you just read that straight from a piece of paper.
Pretty much.
Yeah, same thing here. Again, I will be out Saturday no matter what, whether it's in a car or just out supporting everybody, seeing everybody's beautiful faces. I will be there this weekend. So everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend. I can't believe it's Memorial Day weekend already. But come out, support your local racing, get people out there to the track, see all the new updates and the good racing that there is out there. So for me, that's it for me. So everybody have a good week.
Definitely. Have a good week, everybody.